Working with distribution. We are now continuing on page 30, looking at distribution this time. I am going to delete this one, and I have got a group of images here. There is a number, so just expand a little, and then I am going to spread them out. Now I have deliberately put the green at the top of the stacking order, and the big purple one at the bottom there is at the bottom of the stacking order. I have done that for a deliberate reason to help us actually see the effects of distribution. Whenever you select a group of objects, or I should say a number of individual objects, you will find this option becomes available on the property bar, Aligned and Distribute. If for some very strange reason you cannot see it, you can select those, come to Arrange and come to Aligned and Distribute, and you also see the same option right there, Aligned and Distribute. In fact, you can see they are all of the same options that we are about to look at available in this menu, as when we click here, up comes the Aligned and Distribute dialog box, which we have looked at already, so I will place it there for convenience. When I deselect, you will notice everything grinds out. See that? And we can't really use the box until we select everything. Well, we have looked at Aligned, so now we are going to look at Distribute. And effectively, distribute means to space a set of objects an equal distance apart, effectively, which is what we have done there, for example. Well, right now, I have got a number of individual objects. They are all over the place, and I want to evenly space them. So I am going to use one of these options here for horizontal spacing. I will use this for vertical spacing. So if, for example, I want to use this option here, you will notice the little dotted line indicates the left-hand side of the object and the left-hand side of the other object. Effectively, when you select the number of objects, as I've done here, the objects are to the edge of your selection, to the extent which is the green one and the purple one, they will be used as the objects upon which all of the spacing will be based. So if we just click Apply right now, in fact, I will choose this option in here, Spacing. I always work with spacing from the inside of both of the outside objects. Click Apply. All of those styles are now perfectly spaced apart at the same distance from the center, to the center, from the center, to the center, and so on. It's not obvious because they are not perfectly aligned, and that's why it looks kind of odd. So if we went back to Aligned tab, hit Center Horizontal, click Apply, you can now see the perfect spacing. Can you see that? So it doesn't matter what size your objects are. They can be perfectly spaced apart, okay? Well, if I undo that, Control Z, and we will go back to Distribute. I also want to show you vertical spacing, so just select Vertical. Unselect that one, click Apply. Now it doesn't really like much has happened, does it? Let's undo that. You will notice that if I were to put down the guideline, it's highly likely that one of those two stars there is the extent of the selection. Certainly that star's of the bottom, and I am not sure which one of the stars it is, so let me just move on up to make it obvious. Select them all again. Now that have been spaced based on those objects that the extent of selection. Let's go back to Alignment and align Vertical Center. Click Apply, and there you can see it was that star at the bottom and the star at the top. Little hard to see in that circumstance, but I think you get the idea. The way that I tend to use things like this is I will select whatever I want to work with. I will select spacing, go back to Aligned, select Horizontal Alignment, do those two together, and that's my end result. The only other thing I want to show you about distribution is extent of page. My page, if I zoom out there, Shift F4, my page is actually there like that. I have got a rather unusually sized page. I have got a page turned off, but right now the stars are effectively touching the border of my page on the left and right side. If we undo that, Control Z, and we were to go with, say, vertical spacing, click Apply, and again we need to align them, center, and click Apply. As you can see, they are now moving to the extent of my page top and bottom, and again I have a rather large page that you can't see there. Okay, that's really all I wanted to show you, and we are going to use that in a moment as we look at our amplifier. So in many ways, just play with that a little bit, what you have seen there, but you are going to see it all come alive as we now do the amplifier.